Hi, this is Steve Olson, WSO reporter. It is 3/28/2016, 2:05 p.m. I'm with Eric Briggs, and Eric is going to walk us through some pretty amazing discoveries he's made since 2014 that I don't really think saw the light of day. So we're going to give it the light of day. Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Thanks for being on WSO with me again today. So I've got May 8th, 2014, 1905 picture up right now. And that picture is
Yes.
from Grumpy Moose, Alaska, right?
Yes, sir.
And I am seeing a green triangle with a dot in it. Can you walk us through what we're seeing here and why we're seeing it?
Yes. I discovered this camera a couple of years ago. It's a very special type of camera. It's placed in extreme northern Alaska, and its main purpose is a weather camera for the Weather Service in Alaska. And they bought themselves a very special camera that basically gives the sky um, an MRI 24 hours a day. It's made to view the aurora and the magnetic patterns in the aurora. However, in the daytime, it captures the solar magnetosphere, and that's what you're looking at right now. And if you look at the picture, there's actually two. One is overlaid the other one. One is very small, and one is really large behind the small one. And it has a few perturbations in its magnetosphere, which look like little orbs inside the green. Well, those are depicting planets that are disturbing the magnetosphere, which are generally larger than Jupiter. And arguably, there are 3 to 5 inside there. It's really hard to tell some days.
So basically, what you're saying to me, as we look right at this photo, is I've got the sun obviously in the southwest, so that's the sun, and we're,
Yes,
we're doing this MRI of the sky with this
yes,
magnetically sensitive camera. And the triangle is within that triangle, we have several objects that are being shown to us that are actually behind the sun, or are they?
yes.
Is that the location where they are in that picture?
They are behind the sun.
So why do we see the triangle and the objects seemingly in the east?
Well, you wouldn't see them if they projected it on the bright side of the camera.
Gotcha. So what we're basically seeing is the magnetic projection on this camera, and it's showing us these objects in 2014.
Yes.
In that, is that red dot in the middle, very middle, is that meaningful in any way?
Um, well, yeah, it is. It's not an actual object. The red dot that you're looking at is a projection. Imagine the sun being a light bulb of a projector. And when you put something in front of that light bulb, it projects that image. Well, what you're seeing is one of these planets that's orbiting that very large sun behind ours pass in front of our sun sometimes. And it gives you these light pinches because you can see the light pinches in the picture. There's something in front of the sun.
Wow. Wow. So this is so really when we're looking in like so we talk a lot about the sky cams in like Brazil and places where we're seeing that really strong what I'm calling is a refraction, a light refraction.
Yeah,
That's basically this actually coming from the top relative to the north of our planet towards the sun. Would it have some kind of gravitational effect on us, Eric?
absolutely. Um, Back in 2010, when I noticed that we were laying pretty much on our side, we were still wobbling. We became pretty steady for the last 3 or 4 years. And as this thing gets bigger, what I've noticed is its planets are starting to orbit around our side of the sun as it gets closer to our sun.
Right.
And when these things come in front of the sun, they travel completely and totally opposite of our star field. If you're watching these all sky cams, uh, almost every night you can catch one or two of them moving across our star field backwards, and they tend to pull us with them in their orbit, and then they get at a distance and they let us go. And that's why we're seeing sunrise vary 60 to 70 degrees within a couple of weeks' time because we have these big planets in their orbit close to us. And these are also the times that people are getting these really, really nice pictures of these huge shadows in the sky. Those are real objects passing by us, and they cause our planet to tip a little bit on its axis back and forth, and that's what's causing the variation in sunrise is their gravitational effect on us.
So that's why we're having the variable sunrise and the different like measurements off. One of the things I was thinking about last night when I was looking at the sky, Eric, as I'm trying to think through what you're teaching us, is I looked at Orion. It was 9 o'clock. It's spring. It's March. I shouldn't be able to see Orion now, should I?
At all. No, sir.
So why the hell is Orion in my southeast sky last night, high and dry? Why that?
High up in here, he does the entire gambit across the sky every night too, in a path that he has never taken before.
All right, so Orion, if I stayed up tonight all night long and was able to see the sky, Orion was basically would have to basically go around my head, right?
He does, and he turns upside down. He does a cartwheel with the man in the moon
And
every
that
night.
and that and just with your Navy background that we talked about before, is that a normal celestial pattern for Orion? Would you expect Orion to do that at this time of year?
Absolutely not. I would not expect to see Orion do anything it's been doing. Traveling the path, it shouldn't be turning upside down like it is. And it should just basically go over the horizon and set on the at sunrise. It comes up and around and we spin in that direction and then it goes and sets. It's never flipped before. The only reason it's flipping is because we're on our side. Just like just like that skier with a gun, in the Olympics. He's skiing down the slope. He takes his gun out. He's still moving. He's got a nice beat on the target, and he trips, and he starts to fall. And the target is moving. It's not the target moving. It's the viewer that's moving.
Jeez.
And we have laid on our side. We've got a completely different picture of the sky now, and it rotates, does a flip, and does the whole gambit of the sky up from the east all the way to the west. And our constellations never did that. It's like when the
Let's make this
Big
clear.
Dipper rises in October. You're supposed to be seeing the Big Dipper on the horizon. That is its lowest point in the fall and the winter. When the Big Dipper is supposed to be parallel with the horizon and it dips below the horizon after sunset. That's not what we're seeing. We're seeing the Big Dipper in the east rising after Orion, following Orion across the sky and tipping its water all over the sky.
Eric, before we move on, and I'm going to keep probing into this with you because I think we're on to something. The way that you just explained it is really perfect because, guys, we're not supposed to see the Big Dipper do what it's doing. Number two, we're not supposed to be seeing Orion this time of year in the northern hemisphere. It's supposed to be below us now or almost invisible. We should only be able to see the top of Orion on the southern horizon at night.
On the southern horizon, yes, and it's not coming up in the south at all.
No, and see, guys, just that one thing alone is proof that what Eric is saying is true. So the only way that this could be happening is if the top of the Earth is being pulled down or towards something else. And that's why our amateur astronomers aren't looking at it, because the object is directly in the northern sky and we're pointing right at it in the north.
Yes. And you can't see it unless you're like at the Grumpy Moose camera every night or above that in latitude.
So I noticed these lines across this, and again, we're going in very deeply into the 2014 camera. In a second, we're going to show you what it looks like today, almost, well, a couple days ago. Last time we got a good clear look at it was March 9th. And we're going to show that next. But right now, we're looking at the 2014 one, and I see lines across this screen. What am I seeing there? Why are there lines on the screen?
Those are heavy magnetic disturbances that aren't usually there, and projected UV radiation.
So, in other words, this is more magnetically, the camera is picking up its magnetic signature more than our own sun.
Yes.
In this picture from 2014.
Yes.
And so it dominates the magnetic spectrum.
Our own sun has never made our sky look like that through these cameras.
It only happens when there's a CME and we get a nice aurora borealis, and that's why this camera is designed the way it is.
Absolutely. But this is a day shot. You know? What can I say? The magnets is strong in this one.
All right, so now I'm going to flip to the next one that we agreed to look at, which is for a second, we're going to stay with the March 19th, 2014. It's a night shot. The one that's 23, 45, 40 ADT. And is this the Alaska Skycam again?
Yes, it is. It's the same camera.
Okay. Can you tell us what I'm seeing? Could you tell me and the audience what we're seeing here?
Yes. In the northwest, every night, when the sun goes down, this one starts shining brightly. It doesn't rise. It's always there. This is the one that is holding us on our side. This is the M-class ultraviolet sun. The magnetosphere, you can clearly see its magnetosphere right in front of it there in the center of the lens. It's a long flowing hair-like looking structure with a orb inside of it. Now, one thing on a personal level, I believe this is what they were calling Comet Ison, because Comet Ison had a broken magnetosphere after it rounded the sun.
Eric, just a second. I want to tell my audience something. Right now, I have military helicopters flying over my house. And it's not to be paranoid, because they don't scare me. If they want to kill me, kill me. But the thing that's interesting is every time that I get to something really intense like this, I have extremely bad computer problems. I have helicopters flying over. It's like they know what I'm doing. Eric, please continue.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Okay.
Well, anyway, wait, time out. So we've got this, like, I see this, like, kind of like a, it looks like one of the guys in Pac-Man, you know, turned on his side, kind of.
Yes.
That is the magnetic signature of this M-class ultraviolet emitting dwarf that you're talking about?
Yes.
Thank you.
Actually, it's not a dwarf. It's just an M-class star, and it's not a dwarf. It's huge. As you can see, that magnetosphere alone is larger than both magnetospheres put together in the day side. The magnet lines running through this camera are the ones we're seeing in the daytime also. This thing affects the cameras in the day. That's how strong it is.
So my
the polar.
Yeah. So my go ahead. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting.
No, you go ahead. I already know what I'm going to say. You go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say.
No, because I'm trying to look at it like I've never seen this before, because you got a chance to explain it to me, and now I want to try to simplify it, you know, for the viewers. So that big dot on the very like top of that sideways ghost, call it.
Yes.
That's the star.
That represents the star itself. Yes, sir.
In the magnetic spectrum.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
And the long flowing lines that are following behind it are the magnetic lines that it puts off as a magnetic generator, electromagnet.
Hmm. Okay. Great. So let's go to the next one. I'm stunned right now because, of course, it's going to be pulling us towards it already, and of course, it's going to be coming from what we would see or perceive as being the north, because the
Yes.
magnetic potential of the north is probably the opposite, and that's why we're pointing towards it.
Yes, I believe so. And then when the magnetic flips, I don't know what's going to happen because the whole mechanics of a perihelion is the magnetic flip. That's the only way the suns can repel each other. Either that or they'll crash right into each other.
And they're not going to do that.
I certainly don't believe so.
All right. So the next one is the full length shot from March 3rd, 2014. It's the 538 shot. Do you remember this one, Eric?
Looking at it. They're so close together.
They are.
The 538 shot is actually the second shot I took of this picture, yes.
All right. So let's go to the first one, which is the next one then. And now I've got this big blue ball on the east in 2014.
Yes.
And
That's the first picture I took. All right. Little background on this one. The day before, I was surfing around looking on the all sky cameras, and in Qatar, I saw a blue dot. But it wasn't just in Qatar; it was in every camera. It was on the bottom of the sun in Australia, and it was in the top of the sun in the northern hemisphere. I saw a blue dot on top of the sun, and I posted it on my Facebook and said, "Is this Venus? Venus shouldn't be showing up in a camera bright blue because even in my naked eye, I can't tell Venus is blue." So the next day, I went to hunting right before sunrise because I knew the planet was on top of the sun. So I started taking pictures at sunrise, and this is what I found. It surprised me and floored me. It's 4 times bigger than what it was the day before, and there's a moon beside it. It's black and shiny off to the left there. I went online trying to find out what planet has a black moon. I thought maybe this is Uranus or something, or Neptune. Just caught it on the horizon. You know how the horizon magnifies stuff. So I started looking. There's no black moon in our solar system. The only thing, honestly, that Google shot at me was a picture of the Death Star. And that really unnerved me.
yeah, right, right. So this is a stunning, straight on view of, and again,
Well,
it's in the, just want to point out, it's in the northeast. So everybody that's going to work with us on our moon experiment here, we're going to talk about coming up. That's what's got a hold of us basically. It's basically got a hold of our northeast magnetic. It's got a connection with us there somewhere. That's what I think. Yeah.
well, you can see its fingerprint on our planet. That polar vortex. The part of the polar vortex that showed up was the part that's swirling over the UK on that end of the planet. If you've noticed, there is no polar swirl anymore. There's one in the Pacific out by California, and then there's one on the other side of us over there by Europe. Both of the swirls have moved off of the pole. So, uh, since the dawn of man, that one swirl that's always been at the pole has been explained to us as our sun's grip on our North Pole. All of a sudden, now there's two. And nobody's asking the weatherman where the second sun-sized fingerprint came from.
Wow. Okay. So now let's go back to the second. Let's go back to the second one you took, which was how much later?
Okay.
Yeah.
Like 5 minutes later. I wanted to take this picture because I myself, taking that first picture, was stunned. I knew nobody would be. So I waited a little bit, couple minutes. The next frame, I took that shot with the sun coming up, backlighting these objects and showing them further off the horizon, which is proof they're in space. This isn't something that you can go to this is Madrid, Spain. Go to that camera, find that blue dot. You can't. It's not there. That was a planet that God lined up for me, I believe, in my own mind to settle my confusion because I hadn't quite figured out at this point in time exactly what was going on.
Hmm.
But
Yep.
I was looking hard.
I know. All right, so you ready? Are we ready to go? Do you have the picture that I sent you from the most recent one I've gotten from Grumpy Moose?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna pull that one up here in a second.
March 6th, 2016.
Yeah, March.
Okay.
Yeah, March 26th and 4 here. Oh, just a second. Sorry about the delay, everybody. I should have had this ready. I'm putting security on this file. That's why, just so you know. So we're looking at, yeah. I'm going to be teaching you more about security, Burgerama.
Good, because I barely know how to right click.
All right. So
I'm surprised I even captured any of this.
We both have dogs, everybody. You notice that? All right. So,
yes.
now I've got that March 10th Grumpy Moose photo that was sent by one of my subscribers at 11:20 AST. This is from Grumpy Moose. What's the difference between this one and the one we saw before? Daytime shot.
Well, you can definitely see the orbs are getting bigger. That's one thing for sure. The magnet lines are still in the picture from the coming from the northwest, which is, if you look at the northwest, you can see it's illuminated, but it doesn't look like it because our sun's blinding. It's like a black light hanging out in the middle of space, and you can't see it in the daytime.
I wonder what we. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
This picture here, you can see the orbs inside of it and the color dots, and they're much larger. They're simple as that. They're getting closer.
Okay, so in this triangle MRI image, where's our sun in this MRI? Forget about where it is visually. Where is it in the MRI?
It's laying right over the right top corner of the big one.
Right.
It's pretty much obscured by those clouds, but you can still see its outline.
So that's our.
It's smaller than the other one.
And it's projecting this magnetic image on this thing, and actually I can see that the lines are crossed.
Yes, yes, they're coming from both directions. Yes, sir.
Oh my God. Seeing this as an MRI has changed me completely. This is so basically.
Yeah, because you can't lens flare this. This is not a lens flare. There is no way you can flare a magnet. What you see is what you get. And I'm seeing cross lines and cross lines coming and intersecting each other from our sun and from the north and west. It's consistent. It's been consistent day in, night, day and night for 2 years, getting bigger. The exact same pictures, exact same signatures, exact same magnetic lines.
And then what we're chasing around, we have been chasing around, I guess, is the bottom line is, yeah, you're seeing an image of it, but you're seeing a very slight refraction of it in the southern cameras. That's all you're seeing.
That's all you're seeing.
But this is this is actually a magnetic image of it, and so I keep saying it over and over. Eric, this is a magnetic image, right? Yes, Steve, this is a magnetic. Eric, is this a magnetic image? You're like, yes, Steve, it's a magnetic image. I'm like, damn, it is really there. Now we know where it's at, man.
It's really there.
All right, astronomers.
It really is there. Yes.
Now you got your target, everybody. can. Start looking at this part of the sky. Start checking the all sky cameras. Hopefully we can start getting a better read on this as we do the balloon experiment. Eric's going to be my consultant on that. Eric, let's wrap this one up right now. We'll spend a little time offline just talking. But guys, I wanted to share, this is Eric's revelation. And again, I want to reiterate, he has discovered these planets, and I therefore nominate you for the Nobel Peace Prize, Eric Briggs, because you have just discovered planets that have never been told to anybody in the world until now. Well, actually, you told before, but you didn't have a big enough platform. So today we're announcing Eric Briggs, Planet Finder. But what he found really was he found a ultraviolet star that has pulled us basically in its direction, and that is why our planet is on its side right now. And all you have to do is go out and look at Orion tonight to prove it. Till next time, Steve and Eric. Bye.